and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Heshain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Free visa facility for tourists extended. Cabinet promises to stand by the female Forest Department officer. News in detail. During this week's cabinet meeting, the Cabinet of Ministers has given the nod to present the proposal of amending the current vote on account into the Parliament. Thus, this proposal was made by the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa under the capacity of the Finance Minister. Accordingly, during the cabinet meeting held on February 5th, the Cabinet of Ministers approved a proposal to present a resolution to vote on account in Parliament to settle the arrears incurred by the previous regime. Co-Cabinet spokesman and Higher Education, Technology Innovation, Information and Mass Media, Minister Bandula Gunawardena blamed the previous government for its failure to allocate 367 billion rupees in the vote on account to pay for various projects implemented by them. Meanwhile, during the press briefing, it was also mentioned that Lanka will set up a mechanism to update Employees' Provident Fund, making its recipients updated on their monthly transactions via SMS. Skills Development, Employment and Labour Relations Minister had forwarded the proposal to the Cabinet yesterday, Co-Cabinet spokesman Mr. Dr. Ramesh Patran added. He said 2.6 million employees will benefit from the new system and that previously members had to wait 6 to 12 months to find out about their balances. Moreover, addressing the weekly cabinet meeting, Minister Dr. Ramesh Patran added that the cabinet approval was given for the 3 months extension of the free visa scheme applied for the tourists arriving in Sri Lanka, executed after the Easter Sunday attacks.
The free visa system, Minister, have you done a research to see how many of the tourists coming to Sri Lanka came just because of the free visa?
Actually, given the backdrop of that atrocities that took place in April last year, so that was a welcome move actually. So after the Easter Sunday bombing, we had seen a gradual declining of arrivals of tourists, but with that free visa scheme, there had been an increase up to 10 to 12%. We have taken this decision to continue with that free visa system because world has seen again a decline in tourist arrivals, not only Sri Lanka because of this coronavirus spread. So we hope that this will create some momentum in the sense that we'll retain that momentum of encouraging tourists to come to our country. So we have extended that for another 3 months.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa issued a directive calling on the plantation industry to increase the daily wage of workers to 1,000 rupees from March this year amidst a collective agreement reached between regional plantation companies and trade unions a year ago. Thus, Subject Minister Dr. Ramesh Patran briefed the media on the developments of the negotiations among plantation companies and the Plantations Ministry on the proposed wage increase when he was inquired over the issue at the Cabinet press meeting today.
The discussions are ongoing, so we should be able to come to a decision probably by first week of March. But policy-wise, they also agreed that we need to increase rather salaries of the estate workers.
Will the Treasury be providing some of the funds?
No, we are looking into that aspect as well, but they have proposed 3 models, outgrower model and also a productivity-based incentive and also a revenue sharing model. So those 3 models are being discussed at the moment. So for an interim period of time, government will also mediate in case if it's required.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena today assured that the Cabinet of Ministers will stand by with the Forest Department officer who refused to break the rules following pressure from a state minister and residents in Negombo area. The Cabinet spokesman also noted that no action will be taken against the state minister who tried to indirectly force her to violate the existing regulations. A video going viral on social media showed the female officer identified as Gampaha District Forest Officer Devani Jayathilaka standing her ground despite pressure from a group of villagers to release land to construct a playground for children. The forest officer refused to violate the law and approved the construction of a playground in a mangrove area in Negombo despite pressure from State Minister Sanath Nishantha. The lady officer was brave enough to refuse the state minister's effort to receive the land for a playground, destroying the mangroves in the area. Meanwhile, Mr. Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, briefing the media on cabinet decisions this morning, said that the Cabinet of Ministers will stand with her decision to save the remaining mangroves and grow more. At the same time, Minister Gunawardena also said that no action will be taken on the state minister, as what transpired between him and the officer was only a discussion and was not violent. The just 3-minute video, which the lady officer explains the state minister the importance of mangrove for the human beings, the job which she has been entrusted, and a challenge to people elected lawmaker to select right what they are expected to do, went viral within 24 hours. One of the tech-savvy Sri Lankan researchers, Sanjana Hattotua, making a statement on his Twitter account, says that he has not seen making over 1,600 Facebook pages at such a short period. Meanwhile, several newspapers have appreciated the brave move made by the Forest Department officer Devani Jayatilaka, putting the incident into their daily cartoons. Meanwhile, former State Minister of Finance Iran Wickramaratne also made a comment on his account, and he said it is encouraging to see the public servant standing firm to work within the law. Meanwhile, Sammani Vijay Singh, a young writer, making a statement in her Facebook account, highlights that the lady officer will be subjected to numerous unexpected consequences, as that is how the country's history shows. She also says that they will even create a new history for Devani to defame her. Therefore, she requests all social media users to stand with her when the decision came to punish her by various ways and means. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The chairman of the Committee on Public Enterprises, MP Sunil Handuneti, says that the Sri Lankan airline will be summoned before the COPE Committee on next Wednesday in order to discuss the contemporary issue with regard to the Airbus deal. COPE Chairman MP Sunil Handuneti says in addition to the Sri Lankan Airlines, the Foreign Employment Bureau is scheduled to be summoned before the COPE Committee on the 18th, and Sri Lanka Cricket is scheduled to be summoned on the 20th. The Foreign Employment Bureau and Sri Lanka Cricket were proposed to be called for at the conclusion of the parliamentary session. The committee chair stated that though the officials of Sri Lankan Airlines have submitted a request in writing to provide them with more time to further study the context regarding the matter of concern, as they are newly appointed officials, the COPE committee members had rejected the request and has asked them to present themselves on the 19th.
ශ්‍රී ලංකන් ගුවන් සමාගමේ මෑත කාලීනව නැවත සාකච්ඡාවට ලක් වෙන ගනුදෙනුව පිළිබඳව Airbus මිලදී ගැනීමේ ගනුදෙනුව.
Since the Airbus deal linked to the Sri Lankan Airlines is the current topic these days, the COPE committee has decided to discuss this issue again. Discussions related to the purchase of the Airbuses and cancellations of the deal were being held at COPE committee sessions. 2 reports of this deal have been submitted to the Parliament by the Attorney General too. However, this issue will be revisited at the COPE committee sessions next week.
Citing the Economic Freedom of the World Index for 2019, Advocata Research Institute says Sri Lanka currently ranks 104 out of 162 countries for economic freedom, which is a 7-step drop from previous year's ranking. As Advocata Institute extensively explains, the economic freedom is the degree to which the policies and institutions of countries are supportive of economic freedom, and the cornerstones of economic freedom are personal choice, voluntary exchange, freedom to enter markets and compete, and security of the person and privately owned property. Comparatively, Hong Kong and Singapore occupy the top 2 positions in the index. Sri Lanka's rank in the indicator freedom to trade internationally is alarmingly poor, ranking 113 out of 162 countries, says Advocata. Furthermore, Advocata explains that Sri Lanka enforces exorbitant taxes on imports and that trade facilitation in the country is poor. As recommendations, it stresses that Sri Lanka's complex tariff system with a low and uniform tariff rate should be replaced, national single window for trade, which will allow all parties involved in trade and transport to lodge standardized information, should be improved, and that the customs ordinance should be reformed. Brokers at stock market lamented that stocks retreated for the 5th day at the Colombo Stock Exchange, closing 0.35% lower on banks. They also pointed out that all share price index closed 21.14 points down at 5,857.30. CSE data shows that the market turnover was 262.88 million rupees, with 49 stocks gaining and 98 falling. Foreign investors were moderately active with net outflows of 73.07 million rupees. Commercial bank stock closed at ₹1.70 or 1.91% down at ₹87.20 a share, contributing most to the ASPI's fall. Dialog closed 20 cents or 1.60% lower at ₹12.30 a share. Property development closed ₹21.80 down at ₹130.10 a share, and Hatton National Bank closed ₹3 down at ₹157 a share, also contributing to the ASPI's decline. Let's take a look at few stories for the day in brief. European Union delegation led by Deputy Managing Director and Director General for Asia and Pacific Paola Pampalani met the Speaker Karujai Surya at Parliament last Tuesday. EU Deputy Head of Mission Iwarshot, Secretary General of Parliament Dhammika Dasnaika and Deputy Secretary General of Parliament Neil Iddavala also took part in the discussion. Meanwhile, the European Union delegation led by Deputy Managing Director and Director General for Asia and Pacific Paolo Pampaloni also met with the leader of the Tamil National Alliance R. Sambandhan in Parliament. Sambandhan stresses that the international community should further play its role by helping to bring about the justice and peace within the country, and the EU delegation assured that their concern on these matters will be reflected soon in their decisions. Chief of Naval Staff of the Pakistan Navy Admiral Safar Mahmood Abbazi and delegation of officers visited the Hambantota International Port recently. They were welcomed by Hambantota International Port Services CEO Captain Ravi Jayavikrama and were briefed on various aspects of the development of the port. During the visit, Naval Chief also called on Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, Defence Secretary retired Major General Kamal Gunaratne and top military hierarchy. Issues related to regional security, stability and mutual interest were discussed during separate meetings held with Prime Minister and Defence Secretary. Stay tuned for stock updates. Welcome back. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 21.14 points to close at 5,857.3, and the S&P SL20 dropped 16.93 points to close at 2,767.9. The turnover was 262 million rupees and over 10 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. With that, we'll be signing out for today. Send us your views and comments via email address and our hotline, and log into our Facebook page to be alert on the latest updates. Join us tomorrow with State of Business. Until then, take care. Good night.